Sailors Children's Society was established in 1821 to support seafaring families in crisis. We do the same work now today. We support seafaring families when the worst happens, so that's if there's a bereavement, if there's a family breakdown, or if there's a diagnosis of an illness. We sweep in and we wrap our arms around the family to give them holistic support that really does help to change their lives and set them on a better trajectory.
The value of the work that SCS does is that it simply saves lives. I know from some of the cases that I've had the privilege of being told about that there are families that would really be in danger of suffering from extreme poverty, illness, that might even end up in a position of suicidal ideation if it weren't for the support of the charity.
The work of the Sailors Children's Society is so important in the seafaring sector because they deal with the unique challenges of seafaring life, whether it's the loss of a loved one or family breakdown or diagnosis of illness or any type of issue at school or home. Sailors Society have the ability and the flexibility to support wherever is needed.
A lot of people seem to forget that seafarers are responsible for the majority of the things that arrive at our doorsteps, on our tables, and what we take for granted. I think the fact that they are there to look after the families when they're in need, especially after the sacrifices that the seafarers have made, is really important.
I think the most important aspect of the work of the Sailors Children's Society is an understanding of the needs of the families and those people they seek to help, and making it relevant and effective and responsive. If the winter clothing programme and things like that, I think are relevant to them and key to the needs that they have.
We at the RMC fund the Sailors Children's Society because they provide that safety net for families in need. They help provide the funds that help families that fall on hard times and can be there and alongside families when they're facing a crisis or a difficult situation. So we entrust funds with them to meet the needs of those families that are our joint beneficiaries.
So SMS has been supporting the charity for over 15 years. You can see lots of charities, they help kids, they help pensioners, they help all sorts, but this one really gets to kids of seafarers who are in trouble, and it's easily accessible. The social services are overburdened, they'll get a quicker response through the charity.
From a local point of view, we consider the Children's Society to be an integral part of this area, and obviously it gives everybody a lot of pleasure to be funding a charity which everybody considers to be very worthwhile.
My name is Victoria Lodge. I've been introduced to you a few years ago to Sailors Children's Society, so amazing, always wonderful, big help. From the day one actually, met you as CEO, was really surprised actually to see you straight away in a very short period of time since I've been introduced to your company. And everything started with my husband got ill, and when after he's been diagnosed with dementia, and he's an ex-sailor, ex-Navy. In family everything goes to a different direction, not what we expected, and financial of course as well. And since I know you, you've been helping every month with everything actually. It's grants for school uniform for my daughter, monthly payment for my daughter as well, winter clothing grants, even holidays, access to holiday caravan holidays, so it is absolutely amazing. It's a massive help, and it's not just that, it's emotional support in many ways, and it's nice to know when you're in need, you can actually pick up the phone and somebody will be there on another side, actually listening and ready to help. I'm doing that again. It's wonderful. So with all little, it's not little, it's all big, but with every time, with the different situations, you've been there, you've been helping in every ways, whatever needs to be done, whatever needs to be helped, advised, and what shall I do next, where shall I go next? amazing.
So we can't do our work at Sailors Children's Society without the support of all of the amazing people that help us. So that could be financial support. Of course, that's really important to the charity. We can't support our families without that. But it can also be things like giving their time. So we desperately need volunteers to come and help us. We desperately need people to come and even help in the office to do sort of administrative tasks that take a lot of time, that saves us money that way. We need people to spread the word about what we do so people can share on social media all the things that we're posting. It doesn't cost anything to do that, but actually that makes a big difference for us because it helps other people to understand what we do. And I think generally just talking about us, if you're at an event and you're inspired by the work that we do and you can share that with others, that actually really helps us to gain momentum. So there's lots of different ways to get involved, but we would welcome anybody to get in touch and come on board and help us help our really deserving seafaring families.
What I'd say to other businesses, if they were considering supporting the society, is get on with it, because we've done it now for over 20 years. It provides us with a great deal of satisfaction, actually, and particularly the event we support. It's amazing how many people do come up to us and say, thank you very much for the support that you're providing here, and indeed ask questions about how they themselves can become involved.
I know it's known nationally, but I wouldn't say it's particularly well known. You would get it in certain ports, Portsmouth, but other places where kids could be helped, it's unknown. So the passion and drive at the moment to push that, and the speed with which it's going, is exciting.
For us, it's about the enrichment we get as a business, helping our local community, but also helping the broader community that we serve as a bigger practice. And actually, it's the connection we make that often when you look to engage with charities, there's not that personal connection, and that personal connection is not always about you as an individual having similar situations or people that you look to support. It's about having that connection with what the charity does. And I feel that the Sailors Children's Society is very good at creating that sort of emotional and meaningful connection.
The most important part of Sailors Children's Society's work, for me, is the relationship, the close relationship with the families. So they really do go and spend time with the families to find out what they need, because the families themselves might not even realise what they need when they're reaching out for help. And it's that support, friendship and guidance through troubled times that can really make a unique difference. Dig deep, give them lots of funds, because they will make sure that those funds absolutely are targeted in the right place at the right time in those children's lives, and it really will make a difference to their family.
I think what excites me about the Sailors Children's Society is they don't stand still. When there is a new issue, they look at how they're going to be able to support it. So, for example, as soon as the pandemic hit, they were contacting all of us to see what support we could give to ensure that all the families had computers, knowing that many of them wouldn't be able to afford that, and that the children would then fall behind their peers. It's also looking at things like the cost of living crisis, looking at slow cookers for the families so that the children can still have a nutritious meal, but it is not going to be the choice between heating and eating because they use so little energy. So I think innovation and thinking outside the box.
I would say go see Natasha, go see the staff, go meet the families, go to one of their events and see the buzz and the love for the organisation locally in Hull. And see for yourself. Ask the questions, I'm sure you'll get the answers. And then if their work fits within your funding criteria, you can move forward from there and make an investment if you feel that fits with your own charitable objectives. But I would recommend them to you.
I would encourage funders to consider supporting the Sailors Children's Society, not least because its impact, the level of delivery given to naval families is absolutely first class, and I can't praise enough the outcomes that we hear about that are achieved through Greenwich Hospital funding. But these are also very challenging times. The cost of living crisis has hit families very acutely, and I know that SCS is working against all odds to support families in these very trying times, and needs more and more support to help them to be able to do that.